This is Toledo Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell. Joining me today are the Toledo Symphony's president and CEO, Zach Vassar, the TSO's marketing manager, Allie Dresser, and by phone, we have principal second violin and artistic administrator, Merwin Sue. Also on the phone with us is a very, very special guest. That is... That is the singer-songwriter Crystal Bowersox, who is here with us on the phone. Welcome, Crystal.
Thank you. I like that sound effect intro. That was nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to rank all of the fanfares that you've ever received, is that at least in the top 10?
Definitely top 5.
Excellent. Top 5. That's nice. I don't think I've ever been in the top 5 of anything, so I appreciate that.
You might have beat Ryan Seacrest.
Totally.
He's certainly taller.
So, Crystal Bowersox, I mean, everybody knows who you are, especially in Toledo, because you grew up here in Toledo. We want to put out there that you are coming to the Peristyle Theater at the Toledo Museum of Art. It's happening this Saturday. It'll be streaming. More information at ToledoSymphony.com or stream.artstoledo.com. First of all, Crystal, when was the last time you were back in Toledo?
I actually came up in October and visited with my parents and my brother, but I, socially distant. I camped in the backyard and had a fire and actually didn't spend time in the house at all. But as far as for performance, it's been a while, and I'm so excited about this. The Peristyle is a venue that I remember my mom walked me in there when I was just a wee little lass, and I just remember thinking I'm going to perform there someday. So this really is it's a come full circle event.
Yeah. Wow. So this is your first time performing in the Peristyle, right?
Yes, and I'm just really, really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's so cool.
So it's Home for Holidays with Crystal Bowersox. This is sort of your Christmas offering to friends and family and all of your fans here in Toledo. Speaking of your fans here in Toledo, we've got one of your fans sitting here with us. I would say you're a super fan, Allie. Allie Dresser.
Oh.
Allie, tell us a little bit of what you were telling me about your fandom when it relates to Crystal Bowersox.
Crystal, I am a huge fan of yours. So I actually grew up in the church in Elliston, Ohio.
Wow.
And so when we first knew that you were, going to be on American Idol, we were just so excited. And I was about 13 or 14 at the time, but, our church had some watch parties.
Were you allowed to stay up that late?
I was. for Crystals.
I remember seeing little videos of people having the watch parties, and it was really amazing to see the community come alive. So, Allie, thanks for being a part of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was so fun because we started off, every episode that you were on, we would all gather at the church, and then we made these T-shirts just for the watch parties, but then they kind of went viral. And so, we started selling the T-shirts, and at the end of the 12-week process of you being on the show, we ended up donating the proceeds to the Diabetes Youth Services in Toledo. So, it was such a cool event to just bring the community together and to celebrate you and, someone from our area. And, I think your whole journey has just been so exciting and, has really brought us together. So I'm so excited that you're going to be here.
Yeah, and thank you for doing all that. I remember when I was told that I think it was like $40,000 for Diabetes Youth Services or something.
Yep. Yeah.
From T-shirts. It's incredible.
Yeah, they kind of went viral. They were really neat, so it was a cool experience.
Yeah, that's great. Allie went to Oak Harbor High School. Didn't you go there for a while, Crystal? Am I right in saying that?
For a little while, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the pool still open? That's what I want.
I think so.
Maybe not right now.
Maybe
it's a little
not.
cold. Yeah.
When I had Allie on the show last season, we did a little Oak Harbor High School quiz to see if she could remember all the different things. And I'll just ask a couple of real quick questions here. Now, I know, Allie, you'll know this right away. What do they call all their athletic teams?
The Rockets.
The Rockets. Very good.
Little fun fact
Right
about
on.
my family. My grandfather, my father's father, was the voice of the Rockets for years. And
Whoa.
he also was
That's
he
so
was a
neat.
teacher there for a while. So I know the Rockets.
That's fantastic. Do you remember the colors, the school colors?
It's
The perfect-
green and red and white.
Yeah. I was going to say they're perfect Christmas colors, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Red and
Perfect
green
for a
and
Christmas show.
The gift that keeps on giving, right, Allie?
Exactly.
white. Crystal, I'll ask you one more trivia question here because I know that you also went to the Toledo School for the Arts. Do you remember what the mascot of TSA is?
Me. No.
You know, I
Good
think
answer.
they're willing to make that accommodation.
Yeah. No,
Dave Gerke is he is the development director. He's my mascot for Toledo School for the Arts, and I love him dearly. But I don't actually know.
Excellent. I think
wait,
it's
is it Flying Pig?
that's right.
That's
the
it.
flying pig. Totally got it. Wait, I've only got like 3 different versions of applause here, so I'm going to have to keep cycling through them for all of these correct answers. Well, so far you're 3 for 3, Crystal, and that's all that I have. So you win. You're the winner of our
Finally.
quiz. Yeah. Allie and you both mentioned charity for diabetes. You want to talk a little bit about your experience, obviously, as a diabetic, and how you have channeled your art into raising money in support of diabetes?
Absolutely. So I have been a person with type 1 diabetes since I was about 6 years old. And Allie, don't do the math. I'm pushing, that's 30 years of diabetes. And, it's something that I very reluctantly became a spokesperson for. When I was on American Idol, I had actually kept it private. I didn't tell the producers or other contestants. I really had this mentality of I'm going to get through this on my own, and I don't want people to see it as a weakness or anything like that. And of course, the schedules were rigorous, and it became a challenge. And I got sick. I had what's called DKA, which is from prolonged high blood glucose, and ended up hospitalized and almost lost my spot on the show. So that was a pretty big wake up call for me, and then overnight, all of a sudden, everyone says Bowersox falls ill with mystery illness, and I'm thinking I've had this since I was 6. These people just don't understand, and I started working with Dr. Francine Kaufman, who at the time was head of the ADA, and it was Randy Jackson who actually, he kind of stepped in and saved me. He reached out to Francine, who was his doctor at the time, and I started working with her and got on, a bunch of different devices that really improved the quality of life, and I started doing spokesperson events with JDRF, which is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and it's just been an incredible journey. I've met so many amazing, inspiring people in the world of diabetes. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for it. Something that I thought was a hurdle or an obstacle has really become a huge blessing in my life.
Well, you have a powerful voice, and you're obviously well positioned to bring awareness to issues like this. I do want to tell people if they want to find out more about what you're doing in regards to, not only your music, but also your charity work, they can find that at your website, right?
Sure. CrystalBowersox.com, or if they want to shop for some T-shirts, they can go to mamasox.com.
Nice. Now, I want to ask you about your social media outreach. I imagine that has been one way to stay connected with your fans during the pandemic. How involved are you in that sort of thing?
I'm pretty involved. I've been doing live streams from my Facebook page, and as people are commenting, I'm responding to them. And I think this is just in this age, there's the direct connection to your fan base, where it used to have a buffer zone of management and other business types and things like that. But I think artists are now more directly connected than ever before. And I love that. And also sometimes I I don't know how to explain it. It's not, I mean, I love my fans, but then there is sometimes, if I post about a topic, anything that has to do perhaps with politics, there are, the response isn't as friendly as I would hope for. So that for me is a bit of a drag, but I try to keep it light and just try to keep people feeling happy during this time. I think that's more important than ever.
I have to ask you about one of your Instagram posts, though. It's completely not political. It was your Christmas decorations, right, outdoors, and you've got like a skeleton with a Santa hat sitting in. It looks like Halloween stuck around for a while. But I assume the idea is like to keep people away because of COVID-19, right?
It's a little bit of all of that.
Okay.
I get very frustrated with the commercialism of our holiday seasons, and it feels like, when you go to a store, they're just all blended into one.
Yeah.
So it's also part laziness. I didn't feel like taking down the Halloween and putting it away and putting up the next holiday. I'm going to keep it going. There's a turkey out there now, and then I'm going to add some more Santa hats. And once Christmas is over, then maybe I'll just leave it up and put some hearts on it for February.
Yeah, totally.
Arbor Day
all year round. It's always a holiday.
Yes, Merwin can tell us about all the Canadian holidays because he's from Canada. So.
Oh, we just do Thanksgiving twice. It's all good.
You're lucky.
Excellent. We're talking with Crystal Bowersox, who's coming to the Paris Style on Saturday evening. You can find out more information about her concert Home for the Holidays with Crystal Bowersox. Go to ToledoSymphony.com. You can also stream the concert at stream.artstoledo.com. Crystal, what are you doing for Christmas? I mean, everybody is, more or less staying at home. They're not able to go visit their loved ones across the country. How is it affecting what you're doing, aside from performing this concert?
Well, without sounding too sad, it's we'll be staying in Nashville. I'll be traveling up for this show, and I'm not stopping to say hi to anyone. I'm driving directly from Nashville to the venue, and I will be performing and being remain distant with the players. And as much as hugging was a huge part of what I do. After every single show I play. Before COVID, I go out and I hug the audience members and I talk with fans, and that's something that really drives me in this business. It's not even the business that makes me want to do this. It's really that connection with people, and that has been it's been taken away. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of melancholy with this, that this will be honestly the first performance that I have done in an actual space or venue since March.
Wow.
And I'm a little nervous, to be honest. I haven't been on a stage in that long, so I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also terribly sad that I'm not going to be able to run out into the lobby and hug everyone. But I'll be back in Nashville for Christmas and spend some time with my skeleton on the front porch, and we'll just bake some cookies here, and that's about it.
Well, there's no reason to be really nervous about the Paris Style. There's only one small trapdoor. It's
on the
really
stage, under my microphone.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not positioned exactly where you are. So
are you sure Simon Cowell's not going to be out in the audience and push a big red button?
Yeah, I think that would be my nightmares right there. Crystal, I think what you're saying, though, about not performing in a venue since March, the pandemic has obviously brought us to reconsider a lot of how the performing arts work. And I think that we've also had a unique opportunity to innovate. You're talking about some of the new ways that you're able to engage with your fans through your live stream performances. But maybe we could use this opportunity just to speak to the heart of what's missing from the performing arts right now. What does it mean not to have a venue for you as a performer? And why does this matter to you in coming back right now?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Obviously right now, all of the venues, middle-sized venues, smaller venues, I guess even the large Ticketmaster type venues, I mean, I just pray and hope that they will be there when we're able to come back to them. For me, performing in front of a live audience is it's all about the synergy. It's about you feel the vibration in the air. You can, in a quiet moment during the song, hear someone gasp. And I mean, that is electric. That is what I feel like live performance and the arts performance is all about. It's that interconnectedness between audience and performer, and everyone that goes along in putting on a great show. I mean, we've got crew, we've got, venue faculty, the promoters, everyone that goes along into making an incredible, memorable evening. We're just all sort of put on hold right now in the traditional way that we have been doing things. But I think, like you said, this is an incredible opportunity for innovation, and I have had to learn some new skills rather quickly, and it was a learning curve, and it was frustrating, but I do enjoy both mediums, whether it's live streaming or, actually getting to perform in front of people. So
yeah,
I just think it's really important that we don't forget about saving our venues. There has been a movement trying to get some federal relief funding for stages. We need to save our stages, and I'm definitely a proponent of that.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are excited to have you come here during this time of year because you haven't really recorded a Christmas album. I mean, you did a Christmas track that you released, but that begs the question, what songs are we going to hear you sing? Now, before we talk about that, though, I want to point out an interview I heard with you at WNYC, which is where I used to work many years ago in New York. This was not too long after American Idol, and you mentioned your favorite Christmas songs, right, at the time. I don't know if you remember this or not.
I don't know if I do.
But
why isn't this the quiz, Brad?
But your favorite song was "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer." Is that sort of tweaking your memory now? So I think there's a lot of backstory in my life, and I have a sarcastic approach to most things in this world. I was probably upset with my mom at the time and just decided that was my favorite Christmas song. But it's a cheeky song. It is fun, and it makes me laugh. Obviously, I don't want Grandma to get run over by a reindeer. I think right now, my favorite Christmas song is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." It's such just a simple sentiment. And actually, I've been singing it here at home, and one line hit me harder than it ever has, and it was, faithful friends who've been dear to us, gather near to us once more. And I lost someone very dear to me this year, and I don't know, I was struck by that line and thinking about just, friends who have left us, family members who have left us, and how we can, feel them around us here at the holiday time when we're reminiscing and maybe having and starting new traditions, and we remember the old. And I don't know. I can be a little bah humbuggy sometimes, but this year I'm really feeling the holiday spirit, and I know that a lot of people are struggling, and I want to try to help keep them happy. Yeah.
Can we do that one, Merwin? Can we do Grandma Got Run Over by Reindeer?
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd
obviously.
love to hear that one orchestrated.
Yeah, right. I've got, hang on, we can get us started. There we go.
Oh, you have it queued up.
Bring in some jingle bells. All right, Crystal, now's your chance. You can sing it for us. Just kidding. I imagine that a lot of Christmas songs, the lyrics take on a new light, underneath the pandemic with everything that's going on. Even Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. It seems a little more macabre than usual this year around.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because this is not a Christmas song, but in this kind of this sense of lyrics taking on a whole new meaning. I remember listening to Crystal's single "Courage to Be Kind" and thinking, oh, well, it's absolutely perfect for this moment, and then being gobsmacked to realize that was written before that. Before like all of this, and before that, like before all of the kind of division in this country, and and it's amazing how, and I think you talked about how there's kind of both opportunity and challenge. It's like a chance to reevaluate things, and I loved that song before, but I love it more now.
Well, we should mention, Crystal, maybe you can tell us a little bit of the backstory on that, because it's really a remarkable, it's not just, the whole idea of Courage to Be Kind is about a specific event and how the families were able to forgive the perpetrator. Do you want to tell us about that a little bit? Absolutely.
So I wrote the song with Steve Seskin, who is a songwriter that I love and adore and have so much respect for. He wrote songs that shaped me growing up, and to work with him was just incredible. We wrote it several years ago at my kitchen table, and it was after the shooting in Charleston, and we just really were like the rest of the world. We're having a hard time processing that kind of hate and anger, and just it doesn't make any sense to me. There isn't anyone in this world that I want to harm, and so to try to like understand that mindset of the perpetrator, and then yet throwing on top of that the incredible I don't even have the right word for it, but the mother of one of the victims, the very next day at a press conference or something, she forgave her child's killer through her tears. And I have an 11-year-old son now, and I don't know if I would be able to do what she did. And it was so powerful to Steve and I when we were writing. And we went through a few other stories in the news, topics to write about. But that one was the biggest, most impactful one for us. And we really wanted to include that gesture of forgiveness in the most unlikely circumstance. And the first verse of the song was about a synagogue and a mosque in a small town in Texas, and someone had burnt the mosque down, and so these people had no place to worship, and the synagogue opened their doors to them and said, "Here, come with us." And obviously that's an ancient rivalry, and they overcame it in that moment, because that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to be here for each other and reach out to each other. And since I released that song in July, I've had a little time to think about what kindness means to me, how I define kindness, because I think that it's important to say that there's a big difference between nice and kind. I'm sure some of the listeners perhaps have family members who are dealing with substance use disorders and are struggling through family crisis and things like that. And if Uncle Larry shows up and wants to go to your medicine cabinet, to be nice to avoid conflict, you would say, "Okay, Larry," you just kind of cave and give in. But I think the kind thing to do is to set a healthy boundary and hope that would help Uncle Larry get some help, some tangible help to get better. And sometimes being kind, sometimes the most loving thing is saying no to someone. And it's not always viewed that way. A lot of times, like, if you have to say no to a family member or tell a family member they cannot stay in your home, people will look at you like you're terrible. But it may actually be the thing that family member needs to get the help that they need. So I don't know how exactly that ties into the song, but I have been doing a lot of thinking about that, the difference between nice and kind. So courage to be kind is sometimes raising your fist and screaming at a protest for the right thing. And it doesn't look very nice, but standing up for what's right is kind.
Absolutely. So well said. And I think it also speaks not only to your art, but the role of artists in general, and especially nowadays when there's so much division. I mean, everybody's talking about all the division, especially in this country, and all the unrest. And some of it due to the pandemic, some of it due to other factors, as we know. But this opportunity for everyone to come together and sort of celebrate Christmas with, our hometown star, Crystal Bowersox, I think will be a great salve to many folks during this time of year. What else are you thinking about performing? What other songs are you going to have on this Christmas concert at the Peristyle?
Sure. I plan to do several songs from my upcoming album, which does not have a release date yet. So folks who listen in are going to hear material prior to its release, and in a way that it's not going to sound on the album, although TSO, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Songs, some folks might know in Northwest Ohio that my childhood home was destroyed by fire a few years ago, and I had started a GoFundMe and was just completely overwhelmed by the kindness and generosity of people, and was able to give my mom a few extra $1,000 to help take care of her loss. And there's a song called Sound the Alarm that is sort of about that. For me growing up, I had a troubled childhood. There was some domestic violence and some verbal abuse and things that was very traumatic for me growing up. And so that when the home burnt down, it was sort of this, strangely, it was obviously sad. It was tragic for my mom, but in a way it was this liberating kind of removal of some of those memories, I suppose. It was like the physical place was no longer there. And the trauma really it only exists in my mind now. So healing that and healing the earth where the house sits is all that's left. So there'll be a song like that. I know it doesn't sound so holiday festive, but it really, it is. It's looking forward to a brighter future. And there will be a couple Christmas tunes, and let's see. We're doing like 60, 70 minutes, right, Merwin?
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds right.
And you know that people are going to be yelling out for Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer for an encore. So just be ready with that. Okay.
I will.
We've been talking with Crystal Bowersox, who is performing at the Peristyle Theater this Saturday. It's at 8 o'clock p.m. More information at ToledoSymphony.com. You can stream the concert live at stream.artstoledo.com. Crystal, we're just about out of time, but I wonder if you want to give a shout-out or say anything to all of your friends and fans here in Toledo before we let you go.
Sure. I want to say I love you all, and I hope you stay warm. And I know that this year it's tough to be apart from each other, but just remember that means more cookies for you.
Absolutely. I will give some applause for that. Well, Crystal Bowersox, we look forward to having you here soon. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. And thanks so much for joining us here on Toledo Symphony Lab.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone. And I can't wait to see you from 60 or more away.
This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony, with generous support from the Rita Barber Kern Foundation. You can download episodes of this program as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us through your podcast app of choice, including Apple and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to check out all the upcoming events at the Symphony by visiting their website at ToledoSymphony.com and their various social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find the TSO's streaming concerts, as we mentioned. That's online at stream.artstoledo.com. My thanks to Zach Vassar, Ali Dresser, Merwin Sue, and our special guest, Crystal Bowersox. I'm Brad Cresswell. You've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab, from FM 91.